Okay, so I thought I'd do a video about people having all these crazy lockdown dreams and why that's happening, basically. And I read something in National Geographic today, actually, that backed up some of this stuff I'm going to say with some scientific theory, so that's cool to know. But this is just my personal opinion, my professional opinion on what's happening with your crazy dreams. Okay, so a lot of our dreams are based on something that's called day residue. Day residue is basically the content of your day showing up in your dreams. So we often dream about what we do in the daytimes, right? So because your day residue is now so greatly reduced because maybe you're not going to work, maybe rather than seeing like 100 people a day, you're seeing like 4 people a day or something like that. Rather than having loads of stimulus of the outside world and your work environment, you're now getting very limited stimulus based on your like household environment. So essentially this means you've got less day residue. So you might think that will mean your dream time will get shorter then. Oh, less day residue, less to kind of integrate, so the dreams will be shorter. No, your dreams are actually going to be longer, if anything, because you're probably sleeping a little bit more. And once you get past that 8-hour mark, you just keep dreaming. You're not going to go into the other stages of sleep as much. So you're probably getting more dreams, you're probably having more dream time, but you've got less day residue. What does this mean? It means there's less content for the brain to work through based on your daily activity. So what the brain has to do now to fill the dream time, if you like, is to go deeper into the subconscious. So it's going to start to look at past memory, childhood stuff, shadow stuff, fear, anxiety, maybe if you're even into it, collective unconscious stuff that's seeping into your personal unconscious. So because of this, it's like perfect environments for having crazy dreams. So that might be one reason. In fact, this is really good. There's a practice called recapitulation, which you find in the Toltec Mexica shamanic traditions. You find kind of a version in Tibetan Buddhism. Recapitulation, for dreaming anyway, is a practice where before you go to sleep, you go through in your mind every memory you have of the day. So like when I do it, I'm in bed, I'm about to go to sleep, and I'll remember waking up in the morning. So I got out of bed, I put on my tracky bees, I went outside, I fed my dog, I did this, I recapitulate, I recap the entire day. Why do I do this? Because I'm wiping the slate clean. So essentially I don't have to dream about it. Rather than dreaming about our day residues, I go through all the day residue in my head, cleaning the slate of the dreaming mind, making it easier to have lucid dreams, precognitive dreams, shadow work dreams, dreams where you're working with collective unconscious stuff. So this is like a really ancient technique, right? So the fact that you've got less day residue because you're in lockdown, this is really good because it means there's less for the brain to recap. So rather than having to have day residue dreams, you're more likely to be able to have these more kind of far out dreams and these kind of crazy lockdown dreams that everyone's been having. So that could be really cool. What else? Oh yeah, the collective unconscious thing. If you are into the ideas of the collective unconscious, then think about the effect that the COVID-19 saga is having on the collective unconscious. There's probably more fear and especially death anxiety in the collective unconscious sphere now than there's been for a long time, probably since the last time there was a war. Because although there's a lot of wars on, they don't usually affect the global population in such a way as COVID-19 is now. I mean, I don't think there's any country that's been untouched. I think there's some Central African countries which have very, very few reports of infection, but essentially the whole world has been affected by this, right? That means the entirety of human consciousness has probably been affected by COVID-19. Now, if you're into ideas like the collective unconscious or morphic resonance theory, Rupert Sheldrake, morphic resonance, I think so, then you'll know the effect this is going to have. There's now loads more fear and anxiety in that collective, and that is going to seep in to our personal unconscious from the collective unconscious through the permeable, partially permeable membrane of the dream state. The dream state is a thin place. It's a place where, just like hypnosis, like meditation, like shamanic journeying, like psychedelic experiences, it's thinner than usual consciousness. So archetypal energy from the collective unconscious can seep in much easier through dreams. So yeah, so that might be, if you're having like a lot of dreams with fear and anxiety and stuff like that, don't sweat it. It could be actually, it's a much more collective fear and anxiety that you're tuning into. So, to conclude, good time to learn lucid dreaming. I'm not here to sell you a product or anything, but just learn it. It's cool. You've probably got more time to sleep. You've got less day residue to deal with. the perfect time to learn this stuff. And if you can't get out of your house, like learning things like lucid dreaming, out-of-body experience, this is perfect, because then you can leave the house, right? Without leaving the house. So that's my view, completely unscientifically verified, but dreams are what I do, so that's what I think about. And that is my view on COVID-19